My guest in the Nimataion today is Adam Darkley, and together we are spinning a yarn. Adam, you're a well-renowned sorcerer, hoodoo, root work. You do many things, and today you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, what has been your favorite childhood story?
So it's one of those stories for me that's changed over the years, probably because of my aging and depending on who told the story. But as a child, I must have been maybe 5 or 6. But there was always a story that went around in our family on my mom's side that I had a great aunt who was a poisoner, who was a witch, and that she basically, like, I grew up in a very Christian family, and so they had a certain perspective towards it that they thought she was like basically like wicked, like evil. But the story went that she basically was like a poisoner, a witch. She was part of a coven. Um, but later on, actually, just within a few years ago, I actually learned that she was actually like a more so like a village healer, and she happened to be part of a coven. When she left that coven, they threatened her life, and the story goes that at night they would come to her and beat her with like thorns from rose bushes. But she was actually like she was it was purported, like, as I said, when I was younger, that she was like a wicked poisoner, like she would practically poison people, kill people. But as I got older, and depending on who told it, the story changed to where she was actually like a benevolent healer and a benevolent witch. And so that story in and of itself empowered me as a child to know that we had the connection to sort of magic in our family, and then later on to know that she was also like a gifted herbalist and like sort of like a root worker and things like that. And so that has actually empowered sort of my work and path and what I my work and path and magic. So
Okay. Okay, so that's like an archetypal story of how the viewpoint of society changes as well concerning witches.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
and as a kid, it was almost a scary, like spooky story, because my thinking as a kid was, I was raised Baptist and Catholic, and so the idea was that she was this really wicked, scary woman that would like practically kill people with what I know now would be like plant medicines or poisons. But it was actually that she was vilified because part of that side of the family that told that story were Baptists, and so they were really kind of ascetic and really kind of they came down hard on her, kind of. But then when I got older, someone else told the story with a little bit more of a heathen kind of spin on it, and basically revealed that she was actually like a benevolent witch, and she actually helped and was a part of the community, but she became kind of vilified through that. So
mm. Did she pass on some information, some knowledge to you? Were you in close contact?
unfortunately, it was I think it was like one of the former generations, and so it was a little. There's a good bit of time, probably 100 years or so, that kind of separated us.
Oh,
But
okay.
that
So not a
story's definitely
closer.
stuck with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and that story's definitely stuck with me, and it's kind of empowered and kind of encouraged me to research further. And the farther I look, there are other witches and people in the past. I have an ancestor who's actually like hung in Salem, and her name was Samantha Martin, and Martin is one of my family names. And so it's just interesting because that just really egged me on and pushed me farther. And where I am now, I'm actually in contact with some of those ancestors who were witches and herbalists and stuff. So
That would have been my next question. So, would you reveal some of your ancestor work for us? How do you stay in contact?
yeah, and so I've actually found out that apparently, like, both of my grandma and my great grandma on my mom and dad's side, they both happen to be herbalists. They both were basically like wort hunters, or they worked with plants and stuff. And so that's really interesting. And in my work, they definitely come forward to reveal things in dreams, to reveal kind of like secrets of the plants. And so plants are a huge part of my work as like a sorcerer, as an herbalist. And they definitely come forward to reveal certain secrets, things that I've never heard elsewhere, never read elsewhere in any other source. But they're definitely strong guides in my work with that.
So yeah, a childhood story that was scary at first, now
Mhm.
changed and is inspiring and
Mhm.
actually helping you in your
Yeah.
work and in your business.
Totally, yeah. Yeah, it used to be a story that, like you said, it would kind of kindle fear in me, and I would be like, because I had all of these, had all these misconceptions and stuff, and then I got to like as I got older and kind of asked the story again with someone else, it changed, and now it's something that I look back on, and I'm like, well, I'm definitely on the right path because I'm walking the path that my literal ancestors did too. So.
Hmm. Yeah, it ties in my perspective that we are the embodiment of stories.
Mhm. Definitely. That's a huge part of my work in on my sort of magical path is the magic of narratives and of stories and of learning to utilize magic and working with certain powers to basically remold your reality, to change the narrative, to sort of install a new program in your motherboard kind of cosmically, energetically. So that's what I have come to call like the what I call the magical transformation. So.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly my main part of magic as well. So,
That's wonderful. Yeah.
so Adam, thank you for letting us in on your family history, story, magic.
Sure.
It has been a great
Mhm.
pleasure.
Of course. Yeah, it's awesome.
And yeah, as always, link to your websites are in the show notes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talk with you again.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Of
Thank you. See you. The world is
course.
magic.